Hey man, this is me doing my video today. So I've got an interesting question because it was brought up to me. Well, it's not a question, so to speak, but it was brought up to me. But a couple things. First of all, we are looking for all traces of this man. As the shirt says, he ate my son. I don't know how he did it, given that he is still firmly rooted in my ball sack, but the case is pending, really. Second of all, if you look at my background, obviously I'm not really in college. God, no, I would never go to college. This is just a Zoom background. Please believe me. But yeah, I'm gonna probably paste this and put this 2 weeks after the next video comes out because I only have so many times where I'm gonna be able to do this without the other person in the background. So yeah, sorry. Anyways, so I watched Moist Critical quite a bit, and so sometimes he'll interview, look at people like Jack Doherty or these other kids who want to become YouTubers, and so I know a couple people who work in the education programs, and they were talking about how the kids were like, oh, I want to be a YouTuber. And they're like, one of them's like, well, they make decent money. I'm like, okay, first of all, not great money. Let me put it that way. I don't make a damn cent, but like, I'm not that big, that happens. But as for money, well, that kind of depends. As I see it, people grow big, but as they're usually the things they do when they market towards children, they level off and kind of go down a bit because the kids kind of either realize, A, this is not all that good content, or B, that they're kind of a piece of shit, like Jack Doherty, So one of the things, though, that kind of is common on YouTube specifically is that there's these like prank videos where it's just doing like either harassing people or they use a biological substance or something like that. And don't get me wrong, I've laughed at a couple prank videos where they put Nutella in an air compressor and spray it on somebody's shoes. However, the reality of that is them's fighting words. People will ride or die about their shoes, my friend, and you might be looking for some trouble. Cruising for a bruising, as they might say. And so, like, here's the thing. The law may say, yes, I'll let you kick your ass, but the establishment might kick you out. You and the dude for kicking his ass. But, so you just can't do that. Like, what was it? There's a dude who had like, say it as it is, baby batter in some syringes. He was doing some absolutely obscene shit with that. He was like, no, it's egg whites. No. But yeah, so back to like the prank videos. What a lot of kids often do sometimes is they will see these prank videos and say, that's my golden ticket. Or like, now this mind just is a segue into something I want to talk about. It seems like that nobody really understands this bit, but this is again the reason I'm getting into it. It needs a bit of build up. These kids will do prank videos, and I remember watching a video on Moist Critical where this Belgian dude was like mixing dog turds, leaves, dirt, and water, and then letting it on somebody. Right? Or kids will be like, oh, this is gonna be a Nutella on my hand prank. Stuff like that. It's so gross. Because, like, imagine that. Like, people may not understand this about biological substances. The moment they leave your body, they're kind of gross. Like, by the way, poop has E. coli on it because we have E. coli in our colons. Boogers, guess what? They've got staph bacteria on it. And staph infections are kind of fucking crazy. Those are like serious infections, mind you. Piss, it's not sterile. It doesn't usually have any diseases in it. But guess what? it will, be like incredibly unsterile. I have seen at a bank some lady left a Starbucks cup full of piss there. It was there for 2 days in the hot sun, and guess what? That shit was molding so bad. Oh god, it was disgusting. Never smelled it, but I was like, ugh, I was like, ugh, shit like that. No, man, that sucks. And what people don't realize is biological substances are very hazardous. I've not worked in a hospital yet, but what I will say is that you have to understand that biohazards are a thing. There's a reason that even in an examination room, there's a particular bin and bags nearby for biological hazards. You cannot do that. Like, I remember when I was doing my anatomy training, they were like, we couldn't put our gloves in the normal trash. We had to put them in the biohazard trash because we were touching organs. They were in formaldehyde and stuff like that, but it was organs, man. That's how it is. So, what people don't realize is that that's like a very big issue. So, now let's kind of talk into, I kind of had a question, right? Like, okay, what people don't realize is, like, especially with COVID too had a lot of those videos where people were spitting on somebody. Now, legally speaking, and I'm not legal or anything, but legally speaking, it doesn't matter if it's spit, spit, piss, shit, or even blood for that matter. Any one of those substances, if it's it could be tears, and it still it fits that definition, right? If it's any biological material, you cannot touch somebody with that, mind you, without consent, right? Obviously, there's like a few, definitely more than a few people who have those type of fetishes, but like, let's say, like, what was it, like that old, like, I'm trying to think, Little Rascals shit. We're like, get the handshake, the shake, right? They would do that shit. Yeah, by the way, I actually just spit on my hand. I have sanitizer somewhere. There's stuff I can get. Don't worry about that. But yeah, that shit. Technically, if you spit on your hand and then give somebody a handshake and they don't know it and they are not okay with that, that kind of counts as a bit of assault, right? Because it's the biological substance, right? And touching somebody with it without consent, that constitutes assault. That is like the main component. That's why I say technically any touching of those materials are like you can't do that, right? Because I have like calluses that build up on my heels quite a bit, right? I walk a bit, skin issues are something that my family has, so I just build really bad calluses, right? If I got all that dead skin, right, put it in my hand and slap the shit out of somebody, assault. Not just because I slap, but with assault with a biological weapon. That's how that works, man. It doesn't matter what I did with that. It's still not good. Because, for instance, right, another substance that can carry a serious disease is cancer. If, let's say I scrape a bit of cancer cells from a melanoma, right, and I hit somebody with that, if that gets in them in any way into the matrices of their skin or like other places, that is essentially a metastase. And a metastase is a piece of cancer that goes it breaks away from the original tumor and goes out into the body. And once it goes out into the body, it can create cancer somewhere else. Well, guess what? If I have, like, let's say, like a throat cancer nodule, something on my throat, and I cough it up, and it gets into somebody else's throat, they could possibly develop cancer from that, just from that one little bit, right? Again, that's why these things are so dangerous. Generally, biohazard material are often incinerated, right? Because there's not really a good way to dispose of them. That's why they have them there. So in hospitals, there'll be like an incinerator for that sort of material. And yeah, so like maybe this weird video, that barely anybody sees. Maybe the one person who sees it, maybe the one kid on YouTube finds this channel, sees it, and says, oh, that's not cool. Because I had moments where I didn't realize it. It wasn't until COVID that I realized that spitting was an assault. But then I think about it. I'm like, oh, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. So, like, yeah, maybe somebody needed to hear this. And that's what I decided to do with this today as content. All right, catch ya.